I'm going to tell you the story of an incredible woman who we first hear of because of witchcraft, who went on to transform the whole economy of a town. Oh, and she may have done a bit of spying in between. If you're interested in the people, places and events in Scottish history, then click the subscribe button at the bottom right of the screen. And if you enjoy this video, then like it, share it, and watch the next one. In the meantime, let me tell you a story. This is Paisley. When I studied here in the 80s, I lived on this street. Now, there's no plaque to commemorate me, but there is a plaque in the middle of this busy intersection. Encased in cobblestones, there's a horseshoe surrounded by the words, pain inflicted, suffering endured, injustice done. It's a memorial that's key to the story that I'm going to tell you today. In 1685, a wee girl was born not far from here in a place called Bargarran. You'd probably say Erskine now. Down by the shops, if you know what I mean. She was born in a comfortable position back in those days. Dad was a laird, Mum was a laird's wife. They had a nice house. They had servants. In fact, we may never have heard of Christian Shaw, but for an interaction that she had with a servant that would have seemed trivial today. It happened when 11-year-old Christian caught servant girl Catherine Campbell stealing a glass of milk. Little Christian told her mum. So whatever else we're going to find out about this lassie, we know she was a grass. Now, Catherine Campbell was pretty pissed off at being grassed up by this wee lassie. And she said to the wee lassie, "I hope the devil hauls your soul through hell." Well, wee Christian grassed her up again. "Can this lassie no keep her mouth shut?" Actually, it turns out she couldn't. Because not long after that, she started to twitch and cough up weird stuff. Have you ever seen those magicians that keep pulling eggs out their mouth? And no matter how many eggs he's already pulled out, there's always another egg. Well, she was like that. But with coal, feathers and bits of straw and all twitching and shaking and stuff. They brought in the minister and the family prayed. They fasted in sincerity to bring divine relief. The presbytery ordained a public fast, but still stuff was coming out of her mouth. Orange peel, bent pins, hair, bones, eggshells. Anything you could find down the back of her bed. On the 19th of January 1697, a warrant of Privy Council said that there were pregnant grounds of suspicion of witchcraft in the Shire of Renfrew, especially from the afflicted and extraordinary condition of Christian Shaw, daughter of John Shaw of Bargarran. On the 28th of March, while the inquiries were ongoing, young Christian was back to normal, and she was never bothered with demonic possession or hairy orange peels again. But events had overtaken her. On the 9th of March, the investigators concluded that there were 24 suspected witches in the area. They were variously accused of the murder of several children and persons of mature age, the tormenting of several persons, and particularly bewitching people in Bargarran. Catherine Campbell must have thought, "Hold on, I only stole a glass of milk." Either way, 5 confessed their crimes after questioning, and a total of 7 were found guilty and condemned to death. As it was, one did a Jeffrey Epstein. I wonder how long that'll remain current. Tell me in the comment section, what date is it, and did you get that reference? Anyway, on the 10th of June 1697, flames lit up the Paisley sky as the 6 who remained were brought here to Gallows Green. This well marks the spot where they were made to suffer Western Europe's last mass execution for witchcraft. All because the now fully recovered Christian Shaw was a grass. The plaque on the road out there marks the spot where the burned remains were buried. Pain inflicted, suffering endured, injustice done. "11 years old. Imagine starting secondary school. You don't have to. You've done it before sometime. Standing in a packed assembly hall. All the new kids nervous, curious about what's going to happen and how it's going to go. New buildings, new teachers, new faces. But the one face everybody knows is the girl on her own. Nobody's near her. There's a ring of empty chairs round the witch hunter, as you'd expect. What must Christian Shaw's life have been like as she grew to maturity, the eldest daughter of the laird in a community where 7 of its members have died from her accusations, and more than a dozen accused who'd escaped the flames mutter in hidden doorways to a community who view you with suspicion. All we know is that it takes her until early 30s before she finds a husband, and that a man of the cloth. The Reverend John Miller was a minister from Ayrshire. Safe, pious, dull, presumably credulous of her witchcraft story. Either way, within 3 years, he was dead. Christian was alone again. I can't believe that tongues didn't wag back here in Paisley. The child witch hunter, who took so long to marry, was now a widow. Did they think it was well deserved? They say her husband's funeral was well attended. At any rate, it seems that this death changed Christian's life. She now had a modest sum and used it to fund a continental trip. This was the start of her career as a spy. Christian could remarry and return to domestic obscurity, or step forward and seize her own fate. She chose the latter. She and her mother travelled to the Netherlands, and here's where it gets juicy. This was during the Dutch Golden Age. Now, at the time, Holland was at the forefront of spinning linen thread. People here didn't spin quality linen thread. It was all imported from the Netherlands. Christian Shaw was on a mission to find out how it was done. She travelled with her mother. You see, 2 spies bent on industrial espionage would immediately be run out of town. But a genteel widow, naturally looking for a new husband, and obviously interested in women's stuff like spinning yarn, that's not going to arouse suspicions. So she and Mumsy posed as a middle-aged woman and her elderly mother with an interest in spinning. The disguise worked perfectly, because they were a middle-aged woman and her elderly mother with an interest in spinning. The Dutch should have been suspicious. Not only did Christian hoover up every bit of knowledge in the methods and techniques employed by the Dutch, she also nicked some bits of equipment and plankied them. Plankied them? Hid them. Is that an old Perth expression, or does everyone in Scotland use that? Plankied. Let me know. She returned to Scotland with the knowledge of twisting, twining and spinning fine linen thread, as well as bleaching it and packaging it for sale far and wide. Christian Shaw was becoming Lady Bargarran. This is Small Shop Cottages, a reconstruction of weavers' cottages during Paisley's weaving heyday. You should come. In some ways, it's all because of Lady Bargarran. You see, once back in Renfrewshire, she started the Bargarran Thread Company. The marketing read, Bargarran Thread by Lady Bargarran and her daughters. I didn't realise she had daughters. No. But this business, set up by a woman, trained local women, and promoted products as being made by women that nobody else in the country could replicate. A woman running a business is a scandal. Teaching trades to other women, selling under her own name. She advertised in newspapers. The Lady Bargarran and her daughters, having attained to a great perfection in making, whitening and twisting of sewing thread, those who want the said thread, which is to be sold from 5p to 6 shillings per ounce, may write to Lady Bargarran at Bargarran or Mrs. Miller at Johnston to the care of the postmaster at Glasgow, and they may call for the same in Edinburgh at John Seaton in a shop in Parliament Close, where they will be served either wholesale or retail, and will be served in the same manner at Glasgow by Selkirk Merchant in Trongate. She used her network of ladies of gentility to market her thread in the south. She built an astonishing business. The Shaws of Bargarran monopolised the industry, until eventually others sought to copy. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. People say that's a quote from Gandhi, but it's actually the motto of St Mirren Football Club. They haven't got round to the winning part yet. All I'm saying is that Lady Bargarran overcame the normal cynicism of the day. Her daughters were making thread that was exceptional, stronger, cleaner, whiter and smoother than any British rival. Quickly, it was being sold in Edinburgh, London, Bath, even whispered about on the continent, of better quality than the Dutch. But folks must still have had memories of the 11-year-old witch hunter. She may have caused a blot on Paisley decades before, but now she was about to transform it. The same fingers that once pointed at witches were now weaving prosperity. She didn't just give women fish, she taught local women to fish with well-spun thread. She laid the foundation for Paisley's rise as a textile giant. So influential was Paisley in the textile world that to this day, the teardrop-shaped motif woven in cashmere for centuries but adopted in Britain in the 19th century is still called Paisley pattern. The dispute around weaving that Paisley pattern that gave these cottages their name was a clash that was still to come in this town. And I've made a video about that. It's coming up on screen now. If you enjoyed this one, then like it, share it, and watch the next one. You can support the channel by clicking top right to become a Patreon member or buy me a coffee in the description below. In the meantime, ha' mi an dóchas go be lamh life. Shéirí an rasta.